Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podcast, the Drafted Up podcast. It's week 11. We're going to go through all 14 games. We're going to give you our plays of the week. That's Nick. I'm Theo. This is the Drafted Up podcast. You're listening. You know where to find the show already. Apple, Spotify, YouTube. If you haven't already, like, rate, subscribe, review, all that good stuff. Tell a friend. As we try to grow the Drafted Up community. Long time no see on my end. You guys saw me this morning. I dropped a little mock draft episode. How you doing today, Nick?
Doing good, man. Ready for week 11 to start today, Thursday night football. Drake May, baby. New England. Excited to watch them play, but I'm dreading watching the Jets play. I'm not going to front.
Half a good football game.
Yeah, for sure.
Did you see the line for Justin Fields? Passing yards?
No. I was going to quick bring up that I seen Garrett Wilson hit the IR, I believe. So he's out.
Which makes sense. It
makes sense for sure.
3 to 4 weeks.
For his passing yards?
Yeah.
Back to Fields? 85.5.
Oh, wow. That's way under. It was 139, which was the lowest by 100 yards.
Nope. I wouldn't even get, I would have his over under 100. Like he is, he's not a quarterback. He's terrible. He cannot.
They're not going to make, Vegas won't make money if you set his line at under 100 because people
take the under?
And they'll win. So boost it up a little bit.
If they're setting at 130 some, of course it's going to be the under.
It was 129.5. So yeah,
even then, like I'm taking the under on 89.5, bro.
He hasn't broke the over for that one since Cincinnati. It was the only one. All the other games he's been under. Yeah, Cincinnati doubled that 240 some yards.
Yeah, well they're not a defense.
Yeah, that's how bad the Bengals are. Only real bit of news is Marvin Harrison Jr. Got an appendectomy, so he's going to miss at least this week, but he's probably going to miss next week as well, possibly. Yeah. So we'll get into the Cardinals and their situation when we get to their game, and then Garrett Wilson hit the IR. We already knew he was out, so now this is just official, but makes sense. You know, he was going to be out 3 to 4 weeks anyways. You might as well just take the 4-year season's washed and
exactly.
let him rest up.
Yeah, he's not needed to come back. Even when he does, like he's going to come back because Garrett Wilson's a dog. But the whole Jets season's a wash. They don't have to risk him out there because it honestly seems like Garrett Wilson is the only set in stone piece for this team going forward. Like they traded Sauce Gardner, arguably the best player on their whole team,
and then they traded Quentin Williams, who was probably the second best player.
Their second best player, yeah. And then you got Garrett Wilson up there, but it honestly seems like Garrett Wilson is the only set in stone piece for the Jets, because I honestly think Breece Hall is leaving in the offseason because they do not want that guy. So,
yeah, it'll be interesting. Jets got a ton of money, cap-wise, ton of draft picks to completely overhaul. Speaking of draft picks, I had the Giants draft Jordan Tyson. How would you feel about that?
Yeah, I'd be all right with that. Needed, for sure.
Yeah. All right. Let's get into this. Plays of the week. Week 11. Last week.
Right off the rip.
My team came up strong. Jared Goff, Travion Henderson, Roman Dunze, Juwan Johnson, almost scored a cool 100 points for my squad. It was the highest point total any of our lineups have hit this year. So that puts me up in the series. I'm up 5-4 to 1. You fall to 4-5-1. So possibly looking at a bounce back week for you here in our W Energy plays of the week. W Energy, be better. Good, clean energy. No artificial dyes, no sweeteners, none of that stuff. Use the code DRAFTED UP for a nice 10% discount. One of us is looking to get that dub. Nick, I know Nick wants it more than me, maybe. Let's see. Who you going with this week at the quarterback spot?
Judging off my quarterback, I'm going to say I do not want it as bad as you.
Hey, sometimes you got to get frisky, dude.
Yeah, quarterbacks are rough this week because I don't want to go Herbert anymore. I don't want to go Dak. Those guys, we've done those guys before a couple times here and there. I'm going with a guy that has not been done at all season because, frankly, he's a backup when his starter is healthy, and it's Marcus Mariota of the Commanders versus Miami in Miami, so the weather's not going to be an issue. It's going to be a nice game.
It's in Berlin or Spain. It's overseas.
Oh, God. I didn't look at that. Well, you just made me look like a dumbass on the podcast, so I appreciate that. Either way, it's not in Washington, D.C., so it's not going to be cold. It's not going to be like the wind. It's not going to have any type of impact on the game. All right. Miami's defense is horrendous. They're the 26th ranked pass defense in football for fantasy football. So Mariota is going to be fine in the passing game. And every game he has started, he has broke 20 points in normal, 6 points for a touchdown. He gets points. He's averaging between 12th and 19th when he plays. So he's on the fringe range of being a starting top 12 quarterback in fantasy. With this matchup versus Miami, I think he's going to get the job done. Like, he's got a good baseline for his rushing yards. He had 55 rushing yards last week. I think it's going to be very similar to that. And if he's able to get 2 passing touchdowns like he did again last week, Mariota's looking at near a top 12 quarterback with this matchup. I get McLaren's not going to play. He's making the trip. I mean, why wouldn't you make the free trip? But his weapons aren't going to be out there. He's going to have Debo and Zach Ertz, but those guys aren't Terry McLaurin. But I trust Mariota to get the job done versus really bad pass defense. So if you got to play Mariota in like play of Jaden Daniels, you can be really confident in that play this week.
Yeah, Mariota's a fine spot start, and plus Daniel Jones on a bye, so you may be looking for a quarterback as well. So
True.
I don't hate it, and the lack of running in Washington, the fact that we don't know who, like they have an unsteady backfield, I think boosts Mariota because it gives him that rushing upside a little bit more, gives him a good floor there. So against a bad Miami defense, so I like it. I like the frisky play there with Marcus Mariota.
It's something.
I'm going with Jordan Love. Green Bay Packers play at New York against your Giants. It's been a little up and down for Jordan Love this year. But I feel that the Giants defense is bad. And I think we're due for, he's had 2 average games for fantasy here the last 2 weeks. The last week was really bad against the Eagles. But this is the chance for him to open up the game, open up the playbook, let him take his shots against a Giants team who is, maybe they get the head coach bump with the firing Brian Daboll. Jameis Winston's going to be starting, so the Giants are going to be a little bit more competitive. And I think that allows it, but it wouldn't surprise me if we see the Packers try to air it out early, maybe try to hit Christian Watson deep. And I think we could be looking at one of those big Jordan Love's great for fantasy games that we saw a few weeks ago when he played Pittsburgh. It seems when the matchup is favorable to Jordan Love, he shows up for you in fantasy. He's a green match guy. And this is a green matchup here against a bad New York Giants defense. So I think you could stick with Love. It has been a struggle for you this year if you have him, but I like the matchup here against the Giants, and the fact, like I said, with Jameis out there makes me feel a little bit more confident that this game will be a little bit more competitive, and the Giants will be able to at least score some points against the Packers, that the Green Bay will have to air the ball out a little bit instead of just giving it to Josh Jacobs all day.
Yeah, for sure. And you can still call them my New York Football Giants because, like you said, Winston's the starting quarterback. We talked about it on Tuesday. If they were fielding Russell Wilson, there's no way the fan base would be okay with that. The morale would be in the toilets, like it already is whenever Russell Wilson steps on the field. So the organization and Mike Kafka realized what needed to happen, and they pulled the trigger, and it's Jameis Winston out there on Sunday. So shout out to them. They're off on a good start in my books. I appreciate it. I do not have to watch Russell Wilson throw a football on Sunday, so I am flourished, dude. I'm so happy.
Mike Kafka knows that, if there's a chance that he tries to get the head coaching job of New York if they play well, it's going to be on the back of Jameis Winston and Jackson Dart, not Russell Wilson. He's smart, putting his future in the hands of the right people.
For sure.
And he doesn't want to disappoint the Giants fans. So smart move, Mike Kafka, 1 for 1 as a head coach right now. My running back play of the week.
No, I'm going to cut you off. Mike Kafka had his one bowl game in college. He passed the ball 75 times. Yeah. He had 4 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. And I'm like, that's a Jameis Winston game. Like, he knows what he's going to do. And I hope Jameis goes out there and balls out, dude.
I loved Kafka coming out. That's a throwback. That was my dude. I loved Mike Kafka. Well
before we were podcasting, but you loved Mike Kafka coming out of college, bro. He was one of your dudes.
Yeah. Brother could sling it, and that's what I was looking for. My running back play of the week, Rachaad White, Tampa Bay Buccaneers at Buffalo. No Bucky Irving yet. He was limited, but he's not going to play this week. And Buffalo cannot stop running backs for fantasy football. Well, look what Devon Achane did to this team last week, just for example. He destroyed them in a top 2 running back performance. Would have been the RB1 had Jonathan Taylor not lit the world on fire over there in Germany. But Rachaad White, he gets production when he's the lead guy. It's not always efficient production, but it's production nonetheless. And he is the guy here in Buffalo, and Buffalo struggled with Devon Achane on the little dump offs, and that's Rachaad White's game for the Bucs. That's not Sean Tucker's style. So the little screen passes, they're going to go to Rachaad White and get him in space. He can do some damage. It's just the between the tackle stuff that he struggles with. So I think you could continue moving forward with Rachaad White as long as Bucky Irving isn't out there. I know it's gone down each week as a starter for him, but I think this matchup against Buffalo in a game that should be incredibly high scoring is huge for Rachaad White. And Buffalo's defense, like I said, they cannot stop running backs. So keep trucking with Rachaad White here in lieu of no Bucky Irving again.
Yeah, no, I like that a lot. And I think Bucky was seen at practice, but I'm not sure if he's fully practicing or even if he's limited at this point. But I know he was out there with the team. I don't know if he was practicing or not.
Yeah, it was a walk through, and he was out there. But
yeah, I think it was like one of those simulated kind of practices. My running back of the week is Jalen Warren, Pittsburgh running back versus Cincinnati. Cincinnati's literally the worst run defense in football for fantasy. 32nd overall. You cannot get worse than that. His best performance on the year was Week 7 versus Cincinnati at Cincinnati. This one's in Pittsburgh, so it's at home for Jalen Warren. It's his only 100-yard game on the whole season, was versus Cincinnati a couple weeks ago. He was 16 for 127. He caught 4 passes. Huge game, best fantasy output of the year. I expect him to do it again. The last 3 weeks have been kind of rough. The game versus Indianapolis was saved by 2 touchdowns, but he only had like 14, 15 points on 2 touchdowns, so that's not very efficient. But last week he had 70 yards, and that's about it. So it wasn't a great game fantasy-wise, but he was still involved in the team, and he is the team's RB1. Obviously, there's no other running back involved. It's not Gainwell. It's not the Ricky Johnson. It's Jalen Warren going forward versus Cincinnati, literally the worst run defense in football. I'll take that matchup 10 out of 10 times. You actually locked in your plays of the week first. I'm shocked you didn't lock in Jalen Warren.
Yeah, no,
yeah. He's like, no, you're right.
There was an oversight on my part. I completely missed that. I saw Rachaad White was playing Buffalo, and I'm like, oh, Buffalo just got torn up by. The problem is I always look at my team first, and I have some Rachaad White stock, so I'm like, oh, great
Fair
matchup,
enough.
lock him in. But no, you need a good pick-me-up, play the Cincinnati Bengals defense. They're giving up like 420-plus yards a game, and 150 of them on the ground. So, yeah, Jalen Warren against the Bengals, that is a locked and loaded play there at the running back spot. Wide receiver, I'm going Monday Night Football. I'm going with Trey Tucker of the Las Vegas Raiders versus the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas was on Monday night 2 weeks ago, and I plugged in Marvin Harrison as my play of the week because you can just pass on the Cowboys defense. So I'm gonna run it back. They're on Monday night. I'm going with Trey Tucker. He's the speedster. He is the wide receiver 1 for the Las Vegas Raiders. There's no Jacoby Myers. Tyler Lockett's floating around there. Jack Besh, Deontay Thornton, but like it is Trey Tucker's passing game outside of Brock Bowers, obviously. But from the wide receiving standpoint, this is Trey Tucker's room. He is the deep shot guy. He takes stuff underneath. Their best shot against Dallas is going to be controlling the ball and just trying to beat them over top, and that's Trey Tucker's game. I think you continue to ride with Trey Tucker, who's been really good this year. Yeah, for fantasy football. He's almost a wide receiver 2. He's like wide receiver 25, 26 in full PPR. So you can lock him in. I think there's wide receiver 2 potential here this week. At worst, you're looking at a high-end flex play with Tucker against the Cowboys.
Yeah, I like that a lot, especially with like it's versus Dallas, the way Tucker plays. I like that fit a lot, but disrespecting Tyler Lockett, man, he led the team in targets and catches last week. I'm pretty sure for the receivers.
He did, but Trey Tucker,
he's Gino's guy, baby.
Still the one. He's Pete Carroll's guy.
No, for sure. That is true. That is true. My receiver of the week is George from Monday night versus the Raiders. No, I'm going George. Same game though. George Pickens has literally broken double-digit points every single week in full-point PPR all season. He has not scored under 10 points all year. He is having a great season. He's coming off the bye, so he's going to be healthy. The team's going to be fresh coming into Vegas. He's exactly, and George Pickens knows exactly what he's doing this season, and it's him about to get $100 million in the offseason. He is going to get paid. The last 4 games, 6 for 79, 7 for 78, 4 for 82, 9 for 168. His touchdowns have slowed down, but he scored literally week 2 through 6. Every single week he scored. He hasn't scored the last 3 weeks. I'm willing to say George Pickens gets into the end zone this week versus Vegas.
Because CeeDee Lamb's been back.
Yeah, for sure. Well, same with Jake Ferguson, too. CeeDee's like taking everything, doing Ferguson's touchdown stops, Pickens' touchdowns have stopped. But versus Vegas, Monday night, prime time, Pickens is going to show up. This dude loves the attention. He loves the bright lights. He loves just the atmosphere of showing up and showing everyone who he is. George Pickens is that guy. He's a dog. Give me the matchup versus Vegas. I think they're like 23rd ranked pass defensive football, so it's a good matchup for Pickens. I love it, dude. I'm willing to bet double digits again for Pickens, maybe even a touchdown.
I dig it. All right, round us out. Tight end.
Tight end? You brought up Jameis Winston early, and that guy loves to hug it and chug it, and Theo Johnson has been on a legitimate roll the last couple weeks. 6 targets 2 weeks ago, 8 targets last week. He brought in 7 for 75. He's a touchdown guy. He's got 5 of them on the season. Like, what are we doing here? Like, I get Jackson Dart's hurt, but we are replacing him with a guy that's going to throw the ball probably 40 to 50 times, have close to 300 yards, probably 3 touchdowns. And who cares if he has 3 picks? I don't. Because if he has 3 touchdowns, I'm willing to bet one of them is to Theo Johnson because he is the touchdown guy on the team. It's going to be him and Darius Slayton most likely. Most likely it's not Wandale because he's going to get, 8 catches for 30 yards. We're pretty much back to the Wandale because Darius Slayton's taking the deep role. He's looked so good since he's come back.
Yeah, Slayton's great. I was to say, Russ was hitting Wandale deep at the beginning of the year, so maybe
Russ
brings a little bit of that to the table. I love the Theo Johnson call out.
I think it's going to be Slayton. He had an amazing one-handed catch last week. Is one of my favorite plays of the year. Obviously, he's not hitting that $30 million contract we just paid him in the offseason, but at the end of the day, dude, he's a giant. And I'm happy he's still there because our receiving room desperately needs that guy that can take the top off of it. And I honestly think Theo Johnson and Darius Slayton are both in line to have decent weeks, more so than Wandale, to be honest.
No, I love that. Theo Johnson was my alternate pick at tight end.
Nice.
Yeah, last week was the first week he did it without a touchdown. Like you said, 7 for 75. Yep. The other fantasy finishes were tight end ones, but they were touchdown reliant. So, but it was good to see him be able to do that without the touchdown, and having Jameis there is a huge boost to him because Russell Wilson just does not use the tight end position. Rounding it out, I'm going with Dalton Schultz.
Does Russell Wilson even get the ball to his weapons? And that's not even a tight end thing.
No,
like that guy just throws the ball on 4th and 10 to nobody. So,
but when he throws it, it's never near the tight end. Dalton Schultz. Houston Texans at the Tennessee Titans. We joke that anytime we say play Dalton Schultz, do the opposite. But 3 of the last 4 weeks, Dalton Schultz been a top 10 tight end in fantasy football. The 1 week was the week you had him as a play of the week. With
how ironic.
And in that stretch, 10 targets in every game except the 1. And this man is Davis Mills' favorite player. Davis Mills is going to be playing again for the Houston Texans. Dalton Schultz saw a quarter of his first reads last week, so I'm gonna ride it. Dalton Schultz has been he is a tight end 1 on the year in full PPR. He is tight end 11 on the season. Dalton Schultz, we busted his balls here a lot on the show, but he is quietly having a really nice season. Tennessee, it's an okay matchup for tight ends, not the best, but the lack of a number 2 option for the Houston Texans passing game is what kind of propels him in my eyes here. Outside of Nico Collins, there really isn't anyone trustworthy, and Davis Mills is going to be back there. He loves Dalton Schultz. Keep riding with slow man Schultz. I think it's a good play this week here. He gets a ton of targets, and it's going to be ugly. It's going to be like a 6 for 50 and a touchdown, but you'll be happy with Dalton Schultz at the end of the day.
Yeah, for sure. I do think it'll be fine for Schultz, especially with like Tyler Warren on bye. Like if you need a tight end, you can plug in Schultz
and Juwan Johnson, two playable tight ends not out there this week.
But man, I hate that guy, and I do not like Davis Mills. But I did almost make Nico Collins my start of the week for receiving.
Yeah. All right, there it is. Our W Energy plays of the week for week 11. Our confidence starts. W Energy, good clean energy, be better. Eat that dub. Use the code DRAFTEDUP for a 10% discount. Go to w.gg or look them up in your app store. They'll be there. That's WDUBBY. Coach drafted up for some good, delicious energy, jitterless energy. It's good stuff. Let's dive in.
Hell yeah.
You ready?
I'm ready, dog.
All right, week 11. We're starting off a nice early morning game in Spain. The Washington Commanders travel, obviously, and they place the home team, quote unquote, Miami Dolphins. Dolphins are 2.5-point favorites. The over-under is set at 47.5. The Dolphins are easy. It is Jalen Waddle and Devon Achane. They are must-plays at this point.
Yep.
We brought up Dolchitz. Well, I brought up Dolchitz last week. He did see a snap count bump up to 55%, so it's going up every week. I'm not playing him, obviously, but again, watch him. If it goes up and there is use, he might have some playable games here. We have I think we have like 2-3 more weeks of buys, so monitor Greg Dolchitz in that situation with Miami. You just walk away, you start Jalen Waddle, who's been great since taking over the wide receiver 1 spot, and Devon Achane, who's just been great all year. For Miami. This team is fighting for Mike McDaniel's job, and it seems like they want him back because they are playing good football.
I don't want to say they've been playing hard ball all year, but even like the games, except week one, the Dolphins were horrendous. But I honestly think even when they played, like, I think it was Baltimore like 2 weeks ago, they got blown out, but it looked like they were competing. They were playing hard. Tua was out there throwing decent balls. Waddle's out there shelling, like, balling out. And Achane's been amazing all year, bro. So, like, Waddle and Achane are the only guys I can play on this team this week at all. Like, I'm not going to stream Tua. I'm not going to talk Dolchitz, Malik Washington. None of those guys. It's only those two guys. But I think Miami's going to win this game, dude. Like, we'll get there, but I honestly believe Miami's going to win this game at the end.
Yeah, this one's a toss up. Yeah, I don't hate it, especially if like they want Mike McDaniel back there next year. The players, they got to win football games, and if Miami goes out and they win, 6 games to round out the year, and they finish with 8-9 wins, there's no way they can can McDaniel. I think that'll just bring down the team heading into next year. And Mike McDaniel, he's a really smart coach, and players seem to like him, and I think he'll fit in with whoever they bring in as a general manager. So yeah, I agree. I do think Miami wins. In Washington, it's really Marcus Mariota's a spot start. I don't hate that. Your play of the week, Zach Ertz, you can put him in. He's fine, but the capped upside with Mariota, and then the same with Debo. Like, I don't really like Debo either. I'd rather play Ertz if I had to play one of them. I think there's a better chance Ertz is a tight end 1 compared to Debo being like a wide receiver 2. Okay.
I don't think Debo could be a wide receiver 2, but like the last 2 weeks, he's been wide receiver 28, wide receiver 35. Last week was 4 for 29 and a tutty. The week before that was 5 for 41. I'm cool with Debo just because he is the offense receiver wise. And again, if you have to play Zach Ertz, like you said, I'm also cool with that. I'm not thrilled because if Mariota plays Zach Ertz is kind of irrelevant, but I have Mariota as my start of the week, so I think there's some type of upside with this offense, and I think it's on the backs of Debo and Zach Ertz because those are the two guys that I would believe in. It's not the running game at all. I would not start any running back on this team.
I don't hate Chris Rodriguez. I think because how bad Miami is against the run, Chris Rodriguez could get into the end zone multiple times. Like, if I'm playing one of their backs, it's him. He's the only one I'm even rostering at this point.
Yeah,
I think he is a sneaky play this week. With like if you're a long shot to win your game and you need a guy who could score 2 touchdowns, I think you could plug in Chris Rodriguez in one of your RB spots, and that could happen. Just be based off matchup, and I just think he's taking over this backfield. I think they're done with Bill, who hasn't been efficient at all, and Rodriguez, he scored last week versus Detroit, got banged up in that game, but now he's got a clean bill of health. He's going to be out there on Sunday. I think you could do worse than him. I actually think he's a really sneaky play this week.
Yeah, if I had to play one of them, it would be Rodriguez. Like you said, Bill, it's been like 5-6 straight weeks of just nothing. And one of those matchups was Dallas. So if you're out there not producing versus Dallas, like, are we even a fantasy relevant running back? Probably not.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would play Rodriguez just on the hopes of it's 40, 50 yards on the ground and he gets into the end zone for sure.
Yeah. We're both going Miami, though?
Yeah, I'm going with Miami.
All right. Next game, a little more fun. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers travel to Buffalo to take on the Bills. Bills 5.5-point home favorites. This is my Super Bowl. Over under set at 47.5. Have you seen the banter between Baker and Josh Allen?
Yes.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, this is going to be fun. Tampa, Baker's in play. He's pretty much a lock every week. Igbuka, same with him. Rashad White, I think he is a RB2 this week. And
I hope so.
I think you could go with Cade Otton. I would hold him sort of in the same boat as Zach Ertz, where he could finish as a low-end tight end one.
I would hold him above Zach Ertz. Like last week, he had 12 targets. He brought in 9 for 82 of them. Zach Ertz is not going to see 9 or 12 targets any week going forward. It's just not going to happen. So I like Cade Otton, especially with Chris Godwin still out. Mike Evans isn't going to be back until later if he does come back. So when this offense is Ibuka, Tej Johnson, and Cade Otton, I like all three of those guys. I'm not going to
lie. In the mock I had Tampa Bay drafting Denzel Boston to replace Mike Evans. Yeah, I knew you'd like that. Yeah. Tej Johnson also, I think he's a flex play this week as well.
For sure. Easily.
And Buffalo, Dalton Kincaid, have we heard anything? Have you heard? Last I heard he was questionable and he's week to week, so I don't expect him out there.
He is not playing as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. But Josh Allen, obviously, locked in your lineup. James Cook. The Bucs struggle with the little speedier, shiftier, cut the edge backs. We saw what Trevion Henderson did against them last week. So, obviously, James Cook is in play as well.
Kincaid is still not practicing all week. He hasn't practiced once, so he's not going to be out there.
If I had to play one of the receivers, it would be Shakir, but I'm really not comfortable playing any of them. Like Keon Coleman had a nice game last week, but that doesn't hold steady for me.
No, and it was on the backs of a touchdown. He was 3 for 40 without the touchdown. So I would play Shakir if I had to play one of them, but he is limited with an ankle and rib injury, so he's not practicing in full. I would honestly play Tej Johnson over any Buffalo wide receiver.
I agree. But I think Buffalo wins. Despite having a less appealing fantasy game, they think they win this game, though.
Yeah, I agree. I think Buffalo is just a healthier team. That's what it's really coming down to. I think if both teams are at their full, I think I would honestly lead Tampa Bay. Any given Sunday, I like Tampa Bay's offense more when they're firing at a higher rate, but no Mike Evans, no Chris Godwin, no Bucky Irving. This team is missing Bucky Irving tremendously, bro. So,
yeah,
give me Buffalo.
Yep. Icy Bowl 2. Cincinnati travels to Pittsburgh. AFC North battle. Bengals Steelers. Steelers 5.5-point home favorites. Over under set at 49.5. Play your Bengals. I think you could spot start Joe Flacco. You play T. Higgins. You play Jamar Chase. You play Chase Brown. End of story.
That's it. Yep, that is it.
Yep.
The Bengals are very easy.
Pittsburgh, you play Jalen Warren with all your gumption. That is a great play. You theoretically against the Bengals, DK Metcalf should be incredible, but it's DK Metcalf. It's the Steelers' passing game. It's not a comfortable situation, but you're not going to move DK in a matchup that should favor him.
I mean, what if I told you he played 98% of snaps the last time they played Cincinnati, but he only caught 3 for 50 and was almost absolutely useless? So, hey, he's out there all the time, but God forbid if Pittsburgh would feed their number one receiver. Like, what are you doing?
Cincinnati's fantasy points are given up majority on defense to the running back and to the tight end position. They're middle of the road against receivers. So, can you stream Freiermuth or Jonnu this week?
I'm not. There's only 2 teams on a bye, and I'm sure they're 2 tight end friendly teams. But
like I'm sure
that means there's 30 other tight ends playing. And
I'd rather stream Zach Ertz, who I'm sure is out there, or Dalton Schultz,
easily. Or Theo Johnson, Cade Otton. I would take any of those tight ends for sure over any Pittsburgh tight end. I don't think I would play any Pittsburgh tight end, but honestly, the rest of the season, I'm not gonna lie. There's just too many bodies in the room. You got to throw Washington in that room, too. Like, they have 3 tight ends out there at any given time. I'm good. If I had to play one of them, I think it would be Jonnu, just based off of higher explosiveness. But
In this
Oy.
game, I'd lean Freiermuth just based off the last time he had the big games. He had the 130
touchdowns.
yards and
Yeah.
the 2 touchdowns. So I would lean him if I had to play one of them here. But you're playing DK Metcalf with caution. You're locking in Jalen Warren, and you're playing all your Bengals, I think, with confidence.
Yeah, I agree. Pittsburgh's defense has not been Pittsburgh's defense, so I'm cool with all Cincinnati going
I think
forward,
the Bengals win
especially this
game,
week.
which means they're going to lose. But I think Cincinnati wins.
Also,
I think the 5.5 point favor for Pittsburgh is disrespectful. I think that should be way closer.
Yeah, I agree. I honestly have Pittsburgh, and I have Cincinnati checked off on my box here for our spreadsheet. I'm going to switch it. I'm going to go with Pittsburgh.
Okay.
Play it a little safe.
Yeah. T. Higgins was almost my play of the week this week for the Bengals. Yeah. Green Bay, the Packers, they travel to New York to take on the Giants. Packers,
we can move on.
7-point home road favorite. Over under set at 42.5. We already talked briefly about this. Jordan Love, I think, is a really good play this week, despite the up and down he's been for fantasy. He's outside the QB1 range, but the upside's there with a bad Giants defense, and with Jameis Winston there, you expect them to have to pass a little bit more. So that puts Romeo Doubs in play if he's out there. And I think you could take a flyer on Christian Watson as well. And then obviously Josh Jacobs lock in. He is the Packer you play with the most confidence. The other ones you just grit your eyes and hope it is a passing game for them.
I mean, man, thank God Romeo Doubs is logging full practice today. Okay. I would have been worried if he wasn't. Like, as much as I love the matchup for the Packers, I'm really only starting Josh Jacobs and Jordan Love. Like, yeah, you can play Romeo Doubs if you need to. Like you said, Watson's a good dart throw. Like, if it hits, it hits. But I'm not playing Golden. I'm not playing Wicks, obviously. I'm not playing Musgrave.
No.
Like, it's really only Jordan Love and Josh Jacobs I'm fully confidently playing.
Agree.
You can plug Romeo Doubs into like a 2-flex kind of league if you need to.
Yeah, Dobbs gives you a good floor if you're just looking for a steady 8 to 12 points. He's good for that. And then Watson, if you're a big underdog and you just need someone who could burn you a big touchdown, I think.
Like, as crazy as it sounds, I know it's going to be weird. I would start Jordan Love over Winston, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
I would start Wan'Dale and Slayton over any Green Bay wide receiver.
Agree, and that's the case with the Packers. It's Jordan Love's the beneficiary because they have so many mouths and he spreads the ball around so well. And this team misses Tucker Kraft, obviously.
So much.
That really consolidated
and Jaden Reed. Like, Jaden Reed is heavily missed from this receiving room. Like, they need a wide receiver bad.
Yep. And then the Giants, we don't know what sort of structure Mike Kafka is going to be running in. So obviously you're going to start your dudes with caution. Theo Johnson, I think, is a good play with the 2 tight ends on a bye week. He's been a focal point of the offense. I'm still cool rolling out there with Tyrone Tracy, and I think Wan'Dale gives you a good floor in a 2-flex position, and Darius Slayton, a little bit more volatile, but I think he kind of falls in the same boat as Wan'Dale as well. It depends on what you need. If you need an upside shot, you go with Slayton. If you need a better floor, you're going to go with Wan'Dale.
Yeah,
they're the better version of the Packers receivers, really.
That is very true. Slayton's last 2 weeks, it's been 5 for 62, and then last week was 4 for 89 with, like I said, one of the best one-handed catches you've seen all season. I like both those guys. Tracy, he had 14 carries last week. Singletary only had 8, so it's probably Tracy's backfield going forward. And Theo Johnson's my start of the week, so like I'm cool playing these 4 guys. Not in like a wide receiver spot or running back spot. Like if you need a flex spot, Tracy could be flexed, Wan'Dale could be flexed, Slayton could be flexed. And Theo Johnson, you could probably start in your tight end spot this week.
Yeah. The Giants, they're going to have to pass the ball. And obviously that does favor Tracy in that situation. Plus he also played 60% of the snaps to Singletary's like 25. So
For
like
sure.
I said, it is his backfield. And I imagine going forward, Kafka's just going to roll in with the young guys and hope one of them can get him, in contention to be the head coach. And he'll get an interview. That's always the case. But it's also kind of an audition for him for next year because obviously he's probably looking for a job elsewhere.
Yeah, for sure. I would assume so. But it's so funny how like the difference between Wilson and Jameis Winston makes. Like I would probably honestly start nobody if Russell Wilson was the Giants quarterback on Sunday. There would not be a single guy I would play. Absolutely
agree. It's the offense is not even there with Russell Wilson.
It's not existent.
And,
yeah, it's just not even an offense. It's abysmal. It's embarrassing as a Giants fan. Your defense is out there half the game, so those guys are exhausted. Like, if Russell Wilson was a starting quarterback, there would be a 0% chance the Giants win this game.
Yeah. Still going Green Bay, though, even with James out there.
Well, yeah, for sure. Even with James Winston, it's only like a 7% chance the Giants win. If I had to be honest, I'm taking Green Bay probably 10 out of 10 times.
The Houston Texans travel to Tennessee to take on the Titans. Texans 6-point road favorites. That's with Davis Mills. The over-under is 37.5.
That is ugly.
That's gross. So, Houston, Dalton Schultz, Nico Collins, Woody Marks. Move on.
Woody Marks, Nico, Dalton Schultz. Move on.
Yeah. Like, you're not messing around with Christian Kirk and the young guys.
No. Not yet.
Can you stream Davis Mills?
Oh, man. I would say no because it's Tennessee. If it was a team that could honestly score more, like last week where they had to come back versus Jacksonville, they had to score a bunch of points in the fourth. They're not going to have to score a bunch of points in the fourth. Honestly, they're probably going to be handing it to Woody Marks and Nick Chubb every single play in the fourth quarter because they're going to be up 14 to 21 points.
Nick Chubb might get some real good garbage time points.
Yep.
Where the first three quarters he probably has 1.2 points, and you're like, and then fourth quarter rolls around, he gets 8.
Yeah, if I had to pick one guy outside of Woody Marks, Nico, and Schultz, it would be Nick Chubb, just based off of them playing Tennessee. They're probably going to need to be running the ball a whole bunch because they're going to be up.
Yeah. I like Marks this week. I think they're going to lean in on him, get him involved, both the running and passing game, and then obviously the passing game is going to funnel through Dalton Schultz and Nico Collins there. Houston, Tennessee.
Call your shot.
I think if I had to play a Titans player, I would probably put Tyjae Spears 1.
Yep.
Shamiri TK 2. Tony Pollard
correct.
3.
That's correct. Calvin Ridley 4.
Yeah. Ridley and Ayumanor, they just kind of fall into like.
Yeah, they don't really matter.
Can they get me 5 points? I don't know.
I mean, Ridley hasn't played since week 6 or 7?
Yeah,
he hasn't played
he's
since
been
week
out.
6. But he has been practicing limitedly. So if he's out there, I'm not playing him, but it's really only Tyjae Spears, to be honest, that I would play. Yeah. Like Shamari DK, I would like to play, but Houston is a really, really rough matchup. Mm-hmm. And we're coming off the heels of a game where he only had 1 catch for 5 yards. So that was abysmal, but luckily he was saved with a special teams touchdown.
He had a touchdown.
So, he can make up for a lack of him being involved in the offense. He's been very involved the last couple of weeks besides last week, but if we're only just off last week, it was only 3 targets for 1 catch, and that is not going to cut it, bro.
Yeah, you don't want to be relied upon him potentially breaking a special teams play to get you your fantasy points. But he does have big play upside. That's why I put him 2. Tony Pollard's got a fine floor. He'll get you 8 points, but Tyjae Spears is really the only one I think that's got any juice in this offense here going forward.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah, Houston wins this handedly.
Yeah, no, I agree. I was going to say Spears is just way more explosive than Pollard. Like, at the end of the day, Pollard's probably a better overall running back. But in this offense, you need a guy that can just you need like a Travion Henderson. You need a guy that's going to get 12 carries and just hope to God he takes 2 of those to the touchdown. Because other than that, the offense is going to be nothing.
Tony Pollard's good for this team if this team's winning football games.
Yeah, for sure.
In the state they're in, Tony Pollard is unfortunately
almost useless.
Yeah. I hope he gets dealt to a winning team in the offseason.
Hopefully, dude. Kansas City could use him.
Yeah. Chicago. The Bears travel to the Vikings in Minnesota. The Vikings are 3-point favorites here at home. Over-under set at 48.5 points. How do you feel about the Vikings being favored in this game? I know they beat the Bears week 1, but
I think
Bears
that's weird, bro. I'm not going to lie to you.
6-3. Yeah, what does Vegas know that we don't know?
Especially, I get they shouldn't have won last week versus the Giants, but they still got the win. They came back, got a big W, but I don't know, man. I like the Bears a little bit more than the Vikings, probably going forward, to be honest. But I think it's going to be a decent game.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a shootout because that's just the kind of ball the Bears are
That's
playing right
Minnesota
now.
ball. That's also Minnesota
Yeah,
ball. But
yeah,
you guys play
yeah.
really close games, and it's going
hmm
to be
Justin Jefferson obviously locked in your lineup. He had a
what?
comment about giving up on a play, and he was just like, dude, I got to get back to that fuck it mentality and just go out there and just play fierce football. So I think if there's a week for Justin Jefferson to pop off, it's going to be this week. We could be in line for that big Justin Jefferson 150-yard, 2-touchdown game, 10 catches. Jordan Addison also in play here. He had 11 targets last week, but didn't really bring in much for fantasy. But in this situation, high over under, you expect the Vikings to have to pass the ball. And then Jordan Mason, Aaron Jones is obviously locked in at the running back spot. Jordan Mason, he should only be on your roster, on your bench, bearing an Aaron Jones injury. He should never be seeing your lineup at this point.
Yeah, but we do have to watch the Aaron Jones injury. I get Wednesday being limited is fine as a veteran, but he was limited today, Thursday. So if he's limited again Friday, that's just something to watch because if he ends up not going, Jordan Mason is then a start. But I would start Aaron Jones. I would not start Jordan Mason.
Yep.
Justin Jefferson obviously is a lock, and Addison you can play if you need him to, but that's probably about it. I'm not looking at TJ Hawkinson at all.
Yeah, I wasn't even going to bring him up.
Hey, okay.
Not even worth talking about.
My bad.
It's really JJ McCarthy.
Yeah, not with only 2 buys.
He's too volatile for me to
Yeah.
play at this point. He's been fine. Like he's been right outside the QB1 range when he's been playing good, but it's just too high stake, too high variable for me to trust him. Like I'd rather play Caleb Williams on the other side, obviously. And so for Chicago, Colston Loveland I think's in play. Roma Dunze, DJ Moore again, like questionable in practice. I don't think DJ Moore is going to be out there. So I think that is beneficial for Colston Loveland. It opens up some more targets. If Rome's out there, you're playing him regardless. Minnesota's been okay against receivers, sans that Philadelphia game. They've done a decent job shutting guys down, but keep rolling with Rome. I think Loveland's in play here. And then DeAndre Swift and Monungai. I would lean Swift. It shifted back to him. Monungai was only out there for like 35% of snaps last week with Swift back. So if I got to play one of them, it's him.
Yeah, I would easily play Swift over Monungai. Swift had a season high 5 catches last week, 80 yards on the ground. You love to see that. Monungai was saved by the touchdown, thankfully, but I probably wouldn't play him, to be honest. Like I would play Swift. I would play Caleb Williams over McCarthy. I'm cool with Roma Doomsday. I don't think DJ Moore's out there, so I don't know, man. Luther Burden was on the field for 49% of snaps last week, and that's a season high. And I get they have what's his face, Zacchaeus. Yeah, they got him.
Zacchaeus.
I got that, but I would take Luther Burden over him. He's more explosive. He's a younger guy. They drafted him in the 2nd, so I think they're going to take a shot on him at some point, especially with DJ Moore not being out there most likely. Maybe this is the Luther Burden game.
Yeah. High over under. I would take my shot on Burden over Zacchaeus if I had to play one of them.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And Colston Loveland, I'm cool flexing if I have to while streaming. Yeah. If I have to.
Cole Kmet's also been limited at practice, so
yeah, exactly.
Him not being out there would be huge for Loveland. That puts him into like a lock start if there's no Cole Kmet. Crazy thing, like we were talking about Monungai. Like I think I'd rather roster Monungai than Jordan Mason at this point. And I love Jordan Mason, but he brings me no relevance with Aaron Jones on this roster.
That is tough. That's tough. Just based off of the fact, if we go, Aaron Jones doesn't get hurt all year, and Swift doesn't get hurt for the rest of the year. Then
Jordan
I would
Mason
go
has
Monungai.
a higher ceiling on the fact that Aaron Jones is fragile. But yeah. I think Monungai, you could flex in a desperate situation where like Jordan Mason's unplayable with Aaron Jones.
I agree. Yeah, for sure.
I'm going to be a homer. I'm picking the Vikings.
Picking the Bears.
I'm going with Vegas. Vegas is telling me Minnesota's going to win high over under.
True.
They know something I don't know, so I'm rolling with them.
That is true. Yeah, I'm picking the Bears though.
Fair. I would have picked Chicago before I read the Vegas stuff. 2 more 1:00 games. The LA Chargers, they travel to Jacksonville to take on the Jags. Chargers 3-point road favorites, over under set at 43.5. Justin Herbert's in play. We just saw Davis Mills rip apart this Jaguars defense to a top 5 finish. So we keep rolling with Justin Herbert. He's giving you the floor of rushing as well, so that gives you some juice. Lad McConkey, you keep rolling with him. He's been hot. I would play Quentin Johnston over Keenan Allen if I had to pick one of them, and Aronde Gadsden getting a full practice load. You could put him out there as well. And Kamani Vidal's fine. He's an every other guy, and he's due for the bad week this week if you want to go by trends, but tough to bench the running back for a good offense. But I think he falls into like an RB2 range. You don't have to start him if you got better options. Like I would play Woody Marks over him if I had to. I was in that scenario.
Yeah, I would play Woody Marks for sure. I mean, man, I'm not really high on like Hughes or Keenan Allen this week. I'd play both the Giants guys over both of those guys. It's really like Lad McConkey and Justin Herbert. I love both those guys. Gadsden, if he's out there, I'm cool with it. He's going to be out there. He's practicing a full, but I don't know. Chargers are a little weird this week.
Yeah, and Jacksonville's banged up. Brian Thomas Jr. might not be playing again. Parker Washington was limited today in practice, so we don't know if he's going to be out there. So the Jaguars' offense is getting depleted. Trevor Lawrence is not playing good football. The offensive line is in shambles. So like this could be a game the Chargers just get up early, 17-0, and they just kind of cruise to a victory, and the options aren't needed. But if Jacksonville's offense, if they were at full strength, this game would be a little more better. It'd be more competitive, a little high scoring. But unfortunately, the Jaguars the injury bug is hitting them at the wrong time. I guess you roll with ETN. He's been fine. I'd play him over Kamani Vidal, same game, and Jacoby Myers. But if he's the only guy out there, like Brian Thomas Jr. was limited, Parker Washington was limited, Brenton Strange was limited. So Brenton Strange should be coming back soon. You're Kamani Vidal, Travis Etienne?
Yes, that's what I'm sighing about. Jacoby Myers, I don't care about. I would play all 3 Chargers wide receivers over that guy. You know how I feel about the Jags, bro. You said the Jags offense, if they were healthy, I still think they get blown out this game. I don't think it's close. And that's with a hurt Chargers team. You could take the Chargers versus the Jags on their best Sunday possible. I'm still taking the Chargers, bro. I don't see, ETN's the only guy I would play quote for quote confidently, and I'm still taking the other running back on the other side of the field over him.
Okay. I would still lean Etienne. He's been better the last 2 games, 84 yards, 58 and a touchdown last week, 5 catches, 2 catches. Tootin doesn't seem to be a situation thing anymore. He also had a receiving touchdown. So I'm just leaning him because he's the focal point of the offense. That's why I would lean him over Kamani Vidal, where there's so many more options in LA that they might not need Kamani Vidal, whereas Jacksonville needs Travis Etienne out there because they have nothing else.
I get that. But the way I see this game is the Chargers going up 14, 17 points right off the bat. And in that case, Kamani Vidal he has 95 yards last week. The game versus Minnesota, he had 117. The game versus Miami, he had 124. The games they need him and they're up, it all goes to Kamani Vidal. I think he's going to have 20, 30 more yards than ETN and then probably even a touchdown.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not there this week with I think Vidal's a fine play, but I cap is ceiling a little bit lower than you. But I do think the Chargers win this game handedly. 3-point spread, that's shocking to me. I know Jacksonville's at home, so they get the 1.5 point edge there. So this is really 4.5. But even that, I think the Chargers win this game by close to 10 points.
Yeah, I totally agree. I'm taking the Chargers.
Yeah. Final Monday night game.
Monday night game. Hey.
Yeah. This would be the worst Monday night game. Final 1:00 game on Sunday. The Carolina Panthers travel to Atlanta to take on the Falcons. Falcons 3.5 point home favorites, over under set at 42.5. These are the 2 most difficult teams to just predict who's showing up on Sunday. The Panthers theoretically should have whooped New Orleans, and they went out. Tyler Shuck looked good, and they got beat up bad by the Saints.
Yeah.
Atlanta, beat Buffalo, but they've lost to Carolina 30-0 earlier this year, and they got destroyed by the Dolphins. Like, uh,
Whoa.
this is
Hey, man, the Dolphins just beat Buffalo, bro. So what are we talking about?
yeah. So Rico Dowdle, he's the guy in Carolina.
Start him.
That is their best chance to win this game, is to just rely on him. Like that is when they're at their best, when they can take the ball out of Bryce Young's hands, and the running game really guides them to victory. So Rico Dowdle, I think he should get a workload here, gives them their best chance to win. Teterow McMillan, you can't really move on from. I think he's a flex guy, low end wide receiver 2 this week, and that's it for Carolina. Like Chuba Hubbard, he's not playing enough that you can keep him in your lineup. Jalen Coker is still getting acclimated to things. Xavier Legette is out there but not involved, and JT Sanders has kind of tailed off from his nice little start where we had some hope, but he hasn't been relevant either.
I was kind of hoping you'd be like, Jalen Coker's just not out there enough yet, and Xavier Legette. So yeah, that's kind of where I was hoping you'd go with that. Yeah, no, when we first got to this game, I'm like, oh, the Panthers are really only starting 2 guys, and it's Rico and Tet right in my head, and I'm like, you brought it out. That's it. I'm not looking anywhere else for Carolina. It's Tet, it's Rico, and I'm moving on, dude. Like, it's like you said, you can't start Coker. Legette is Legette. JT Sanders hasn't been consistent enough, and I'm not going to stream Bryce Young, dude. I'm not that ballsy.
No, I'd rather stream Michael Penix if I had to stream one of them, and that's still...
That is rough, but Bryce Young's like coming off 2 games in a row where he's gone under 5 points. So yeah, give me Penix, I guess.
Teterow McMillan or DK Metcalf. They're kind of like the same boat in terms of my rankings where I'd see them, but like Metcalf has the ceiling.
It's not even close.
Okay.
Like Ted last week was 5 for 60. That's a good game for DK Metcalf at this point. And like Ted, he still had games where he has 10 targets, 9 targets, 8. DK's getting at most 7 targets because that's the way their offense. So give me the guy that's getting peppered with targets over the guy that's just in a terrible offense.
Atlanta, though, they have options. Bijan in play, put him in. Drake London has been incredible. You keep rolling with him, obviously. Kyle Pitts, Carolina's a good matchup for tight ends. He's 3rd in target share. He's like 5th in yards among tight ends. He's just not scoring touchdowns. But in a pinch, 2 tight ends on a bye week, I think you could play Kyle Pitts this week. He's right outside the tight end 1 range. And really, that's it. But is Tyler Algier?
Yep. Yeah. I don't know if he's in play. But if you need just a guy that's going to go out there and get 30, 40 yards and has a chance of getting into the end zone, maybe not once, but
2
twice, because it happens. Yep. Exactly. Yeah, you can throw him into your flex spot if you need to, like 2 flex league. I would never play him in a solo flex league just because of how deep rosters are. But if you're going like 2, 3 flex leagues and your deep leagues, 12, 14 teams, you're playing Tyler Algier for sure.
Yeah, and he's making being a Bijan owner incredibly frustrating because he's taking all the goal line work now away from him. But yeah, in a pinch, like he's kind of in that same boat as Chris Rodriguez, but he's not getting as much work. But if you need touchdowns, there's a good chance Tyler Algier's walking away with one on Sunday.
For sure. Yeah, we brought it up on
this game.
We brought it up on Tuesday that Algier's literally already got a career high in touchdowns.
Yeah.
Like he has 6 touchdowns already this year. If he gets 2 more, he doubles his career high. So I honestly am willing to say he's going to get 8 touchdowns this year. He's going to
playing for that contract next year. Playing for that
for sure. I don't know if he gets a starting job, but I do think he's going to get like a Rico role where a team brings him on and he has a chance to get the job at some point because he can outplay somebody. He's got skill.
He's a better version of Zach Charbonnet. He is what Seattle wants Zach Charbonnet to be. And Zach Charbonnet is not Tyler Algier.
God. I do not like either of those guys. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going Carolina. I think Carolina pulls it off.
I also am going to pick the Panthers. I think they're a better. I think they lean on Rico and get the win here.
I just think they're a better team too. Like I think the Panthers are just a more consistent team. Like nothing against Atlanta, but
yeah,
I haven't seen them put together 2 straight weeks at all. Like what are we talking about, dude? They are super inconsistent.
Yeah, they're a little less volatile than the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah,
All
just
right,
a little bit. Just a little
that's
bit.
the 1 o'clock games. Before we jump into the 4 o'clock in the primetime games, let's shout out our other affiliate over at Finley Hats. Finley Hats are built for good times and long times. If your hat is damaged or destroyed, they'll replace it or repair it absolutely free of charge. They have free shipping across the U.S. In the description, there's a link. Click it up. It'll get you 15% off your first purchase over at Finley Hats. They do weekly drops every Friday night, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Pacific Time. They got other designs that they have just out on the shop as well, like they're just doing weekly drops and have nothing for you. But they got dad hats, bucket hats, snapbacks, beanies, all sorts of stuff. Winter's coming around. Get yourself a nice little comfortable beanie. They sent me a nice hot pink one with my last order, so that was really cool. But check them out over at Finley Hats. Join the force over at Finley Hats and get yourself a cool hat. You know, the stampede laces, pins, all sorts of stuff over there. So check them out. All right, 4 o'clock games. Seattle Seahawks travel to LA to take on the Rams. This is the game of the week for me. Rams 3-point home favorites, over under set at 48.5. I think these are the two best teams in football. I've been on my mantle saying Seattle's the best team. I think the Rams are the second best team. I think this game is going to be a slugfest.
Yeah, I like the Rams. I think Kansas City beat Seattle the majority out of 10 times they play. I'm not going to lie to you, dude.
But one game, I think the Seahawks can beat them. That's all I'm looking at. I'm not looking at this isn't an NBA best of 7. I think Seattle's offense and defense can hang with anybody.
The Giants, we have a couple wins here and there. I would take the Chiefs over the Saints. Yeah, of course, the Saints. The Seahawks, for sure. I would easily take the Chiefs.
Would take 30 teams over the Saints. Seahawks, Jackson Smith and Jigba. Best receiver in football right now. Keep him in your lineup. He's been freaking incredible. You can play both the running backs, but it's going to be rough. I finally benched Ken Walker. I finally was able to not play Ken Walker in our home league this week. I've had to play him. I've had to play him all year, knowledge. And look, I haven't had anyone better to play.
There's guys on free agents. There has to be, bro.
Not running backs. But yeah, I finally have a full option of players. I was able to pull Ken Walker out and start Rachaad White and Woody Marks over him this week. But yeah, they're flex guys. Him and Charbonnet, you can play him in the flex, and that's it. You messing around with Rashid Shaheed or Cooper Kupp or AJ Barner or Sam Darnold?
Rashid Shaheed would be the only guy on Seattle I would play besides JSN. Like, I wouldn't play the running backs. I'm not playing Darnold after the letdown last week. Like, he was primed for a decent game, and he wasn't needed. I'm not playing Barner either. He was pretty useless. Like, going forward, he's not startable, maybe flexible if you want a guy on touchdown upside, but that's really what he's got going for him. If he gets into the end zone, he'll have a fine game. But Seattle's pretty much just JSN for me. And then Rashid Shaheed if you need to play a flex guy with high upside.
Yeah. I think Shaheed and both running backs, they kind of fall into the flex category. I actually think it's going to be a defensive showdown. I don't think they get close to this 48. Rams, again, you're rolling with Matt Stafford, not shying away, even with the tough matchup there. You just keep him locked in your lineup. Puka Nacua, Devontae Adams going to be out there on Sunday, so keep those guys in, keep Kyron Williams in, and that's it. The Rams have been, like we've discussed them.
The Rams are
the easiest team.
Yeah.
The easiest team in fantasy football are the Rams and the Eagles.
Well, the Eagles are going to be a little bit harder going forward. We'll get there.
Yeah, well, going into the season, that we assume.
Oh, yeah. For sure. I don't know, man. I think Stafford's in line for a big week. Kyron's in line for a big week. Puka's in line for a big week. Devontae Adams in line for a big week. Like, I'm playing all my Rams with high confidence. I don't know, man. I honestly think the Rams win by 14.
Wow. Hates the Seahawks. Go figure.
In what world can Sam Darnold compete with Matt Stafford? This run game compete with Kyron? I'm sorry, JSN is arguably one of the best receivers in football. I will give you that. But he's not Puka and Devontae Adams, bro. Like, one man cannot do it by himself, and that is what Seattle's offense is.
Sam Darnold has looked good this year. Clint Kubiak has his offense playing
he's looked fine.
He's looked better than he did in Minnesota.
He's not Matt Stafford. But he's not Matt Stafford, bro.
Okay, but this defense can contain the Rams' offense.
And the
That's
Rams
why I think
defense can easily contain Seattle's offense.
I think this is going to be a 14-10 game. This is just going to be two teams beating the crap out of each other. Low scoring game.
Give me
I'm gonna lean the Rams because they're at home, but I think if it was in Seattle, I would have went Seattle. I think both teams are incredible, and I think this is a potential preview of a playoff game.
I'm not on the Seahawks like that. If we're going scores, I would go Rams 28, Seattle at most 17.
Okay. Yeah. I think Seattle's defense is maybe the best unit in football. And I think they hold the Rams in check. And I think the Rams defense is really good as well. And they'll hold Seattle in check. And we're looking at a low scoring game. And there could be fantasy disappointment here for the first time from either of these teams, really, just based off just how good their defenses are in my eyes.
Yeah, I know. That's definitely a possibility for sure. Like, Seattle's defense is better than I thought it would be all year, but I just don't know if they can keep up with the Rams offense, dude. They've been firing at full cylinders. Like, Stafford's putting up consistently 4 or 5 touchdowns a game. I don't think Sam Darnold can keep up with that. I just don't think that's a possibility.
Yeah. We'll see. I don't think he'll need to, because I think the Rams will, or I think the Seahawks will keep the Rams in check. But I am going to lean the Rams here in a low scoring game. Another back-to-back NFC West games. They got the whole division playing each other. San Francisco, the 49ers travel to Arizona to take on the Cardinals. Niners, 3-point road favorites, over under set at 48.5. Brock Purdy's probably playing this week. So,
yes, sir.
Big boost up for George Kittle. George Kittle's probably thrilled. So keep rolling with George Kittle. He was great last week. Got into the end zone. And obviously you're not moving on from Christian McCaffrey. Is Ricky Pearsall playing? I know he was spotted at practice, but that means nothing.
Ricky Pearsall knee will play Sunday.
Whoa,
Ricky Pearsall,
okay.
Ricky Pearsall is back. I don't know if I'm playing him, dude.
I'm not playing him. I guess you could flex in Juwan Jennings, but with the Niners, it's really Kittle and McCaffrey for me. I need to see Brock Purdy healthy before I start trusting, and same with Ricky Pearsall. I need to see them healthy before I start putting them into my lineup.
As much as I'm not playing Ricky Pearsall, if I had to play any receiver in this whole game, I'm playing Ricky Pearsall. True. So,
yeah. Can you play, like, no Marvin Harrison? Like, are Michael Wilson and Greg Dortch even playable anywhere?
Probably not.
Yeah, like I don't think there's like a world where I I would take a shot on Troy Franklin in a tough matchup against the Chiefs for Denver over Michael Wilson and Greg Dortch. I know Dortch has always been good when he's got an opportunity, and maybe he gives you a good PPR floor, but I need to see it before I plug him in for a start just yet. But yeah, I would start Pearsall and Jennings over Wilson and Dortch.
Yeah, for sure. Man, I don't even know if I'm. No, I couldn't comfortably play Wilson or Dortch in any type of scenario.
No. Yeah, like Wilson's out there, but he's not. He's good for 8 points. I don't think he's got more than that all year. Arizona,
I agree.
It's Trey McBride and Jacoby Brissett as a spot start. That's it.
No, I'm cool playing DeMarcano.
Okay,
I would play him.
Yeah, I guess in a pinch you could play him. Jonathan Taylor on a bye week, Alvin Kamara on a bye week. 2 running backs are in lineup. So, yeah, I would lean most of the other running backs we talked about: Woody Marks, Travis Etienne, Kamani Vidal over DeMarcado. But in a pitch, you could. It's like I would play him over Chris Rodriguez, who I like this week, but DeMarcado should see the volume. But Trey McBride should be in line for a huge game. Jacoby Brissett has been fine for fantasy and fine for the Cardinals, so good matchup for him in San Francisco. But yeah, big tight end game this week here, and I'm going to go with the Niners.
Yeah, no, I'm taking the Niners. I agree. I think even a banged up team with Brock Purdy coming back, he's not going to be 100%. Ricky Pearsall not being 100%. Just being able to lean on George Kittle and Christian McCaffrey, I'm taking that offense over Arizona.
Yeah. Baltimore, the Ravens travel to Cleveland to take on the Browns. Ravens 7.5-point road favorites. Over under is set at 38.5. Cleveland. Is it just Quinshon Judkins and the tight ends? Are you going to mess around with Jerry Jeudy? The matchup's there. He had a good week last week. Again, he falls into the range where, like, I need to see 2 weeks in a row of Jerry Jeudy before I'm putting him into a flex spot. But I would play him over either the Cardinals guys. I would also play him over Pearsall and Jennings.
I would play Pearsall over Jerry Jeudy, but I would play Jerry Jeudy over everyone else in that game. For sure.
Okay. You starting either Browns tight end, Njoku, Fannin?
I think Fanning is streamable if you need. He is limited in practice with a hamstring injury, so he's not 100%. Even if he goes, a hamstring can act up whenever. It's not.
As I say, I would lean Njoku over Fannin if I had to play one of them.
Njoku's just so touchdown dependent, and that's like,
I know
that it's risky for me to rely on a guy on a Browns to score a touchdown. I would lean Fanning just based off PPR upside, but Judkins is really the only guy I'm playing on the Browns.
Yeah. Judkins is the only one who has true upside to be just a good floor, good ceiling player for Cleveland. He's the only one out there with that ability. Baltimore, Lamar Jackson returned to practice in full. That was good to see. He did miss practice Wednesday with his knees still acting up. So you're putting him in your lineup. Derrick Henry, tough matchup. Cleveland's been good against running backs, but you're not moving on from King Henry. Zay Flowers is in play. Rashad Bateman's probably not out there this week. Do you go for the touchdown for Mark Andrews, or you roll with one of the many like K-Dot and Zach Ertz, Dalton Schultz, guys we've talked about, Theo Johnson, or you try to play the touchdown game with Mark Andrews?
Lamar has been back for 2 weeks, and Mark Andrews has scored 2 weeks in a row. If Lamar Jackson is out there, I am playing Mark Andrews over any tight end that I'm chasing a touchdown. Like if I had to tier them, Mark Andrews is the top tier of touchdown chasing tight ends. Just based off Lamar Jackson's his quarterback. Lamar trusts fucking Mark Andrews with his life if he had to. So I don't know, dude. Give me Mark Andrews.
So you'd play him over Dalton Schultz, who he doesn't have to chase a touchdown because he gets a ton of targets.
Yeah, that's rough.
Yeah. And then, like I said, Zay Flowers only receiving option for this game because no Bateman. This could finally be a good game for Zay Flowers, where you're just like, thank God he finally lived up to this draft position here. And Baltimore wins this game as they're going to start making that push for the playoffs.
Yeah, I think Baltimore has a huge week, dude. I'm not going to lie. Derrick Henry, you brought up, dude. Like, he played Cleveland week 2. He scored 2 points, bro. Like, Derrick Henry, last time he played Cleveland, only scored 2 points. So everyone needs to keep that just in their mind. Like, if Derrick Henry comes out here and shits the bed, it's because he's playing Cleveland. Cleveland has a really good run defense, bro.
Really, really good against running backs. But I wouldn't want to be lining up against Derrick Henry with a chip on his shoulder. He knows Cleveland stopped him last time, so he's going to try to go out there and feed. Kansas City, the Chiefs travel to Denver to take on the Broncos. Chiefs 3.5-point road favorites. Over under set at 44.5. RJ Harvey. J.K. Dobbins probably not going to be out there. RJ Harvey's getting more work. Go figure. The backup running back's going to get more work because the starter's not out there. Tyler Beatty is obviously going to be involved because it is a Sean Payton, but I think RJ Harvey, you can play him low-end RB2 with top 15 upside.
Yeah, dude, I'd play RJ Harvey like confidently. Like not like super. I'd play him over Judkins. Probably. I'm not going to lie to you. Just based off of the Browns team in general, I don't think the Browns score more than 14 points.
There's also and there's passing upside for RJ Harvey.
Yep.
That you're not going to get with Quinshon Judkins.
And no one really knows how much Tyler Bidet or McLaughlin are going to be involved. Like McLaughlin's been a healthy scratch the last couple of weeks, and he's going to probably suit up this week because they need him because of JK not playing.
Yep.
But I honestly think if I had to play any Bronco, it would be RJ Harvey.
Agree. Chiefs passing game has been really good. They've been shutting down receivers. Yeah. Evan Ingram's in the same boat as TJ Hawkinson. He's not even worth talking about. Cortland Sutton, him or DK Metcalf this week?
Troy Franklin. Can I take him?
No,
I would rather him.
I would still lean Sutton over Franklin just because
Not this matchup.
Even okay.
This
I
matchup,
don't want to play
it
either.
suits.
I think both of them are low end flex guys.
Like Kansas City's going to lock down Sutton, and if any of these guys happens to have a decent fantasy game, it's on the back of one play. Sutton can't do that. Troy Franklin can do that. Troy Franklin can easily have 1 for 80 and a touchdown, where Cortland Sutton has 3 catches for 12 yards and that's it. And you're just like, oh, what just happened? I would honestly play Troy Franklin over like DK over Sutton this week.
So what would you play
Worthy on the other
DK?
side? No, I don't think I would.
No? Okay. Honestly, I love the Broncos. They've been my off-season darling. I don't think, like, I want to say this game's not going to be close, but the Chiefs just play close football games, but I think the Chiefs beat them and just look better on Sunday. Whereas, like, I have to play Bo Nix in a few leagues, and I don't want to. I'm, like, scrambling to find another option. I think
okay, so worded
this Broncos
way.
team has beat bad football teams, which is what they should do. But they're playing close games against these bad football teams. Like, they got lucky to beat the Giants in that game that they won. They beat Tennessee by 1 point. Like, they're playing hot football, but they're not exactly playing great football.
So you did mention that Denver's going to lose, Kansas City's going to win, and it's probably still going to be close at the end of the day. But does it look close to a normal person? Like, sure, the score can be close. So okay. So you do think it's going to be not okay? Because, like, sure, Kansas City plays close ball, but to like a normal person, it's not that close because they're like, oh my God, Kansas City's like destroying this team, but they look at the score and they're only up 3 to 7 points. It's very weird. God, man, I want to say I disagree, but I think Kansas City wins by at least a touchdown, and that's a lot for Kansas City. I'm not going to lie.
Okay. I don't think they win by a touchdown, but I do think they cover. The spread's 3.5. I do think they win by 5. If I had to pick a number, but
if I had to go a guess, it would be like 21-28, something around that kind of ballpark. Like, it's not going to be a blowout, but Kansas City's just going to be consistently ahead in this game.
Yeah, and on the Kansas City side for fantasy, it's easy to it's Mahomes, it's Rashee Rice, and it's Travis Kelce. Tough matchup. Denver's been good against tight ends and receivers, so they might be capped a little bit, but you're going to keep chugging along with those three. Worthy, I wouldn't play him over Franklin or Sutton. He kind of falls into that second flex range if you're running 2 flex, but he's a low end to mid second flex.
He was added to the injury report today, so everyone just needs to keep an eye out on Worthy. He's got an ankle injury. He was limited in practice. So it depends on what happens tomorrow, Friday, with Worthy. But I would play like the Giants guys are like my line this week. I would play both Giants guys over Worthy.
Both, I agree. Do you mess around with any of the Chiefs running backs?
No.
I agree. Absolutely. Yep. Same boat. And we're both going Kansas City.
Yeah.
All right. Sunday Night Football. The Detroit Lions travel to Philadelphia to take on the Eagles. Eagles, 2.5 point home favorites. Over under set at 46.5. The AJ Brown comments.
Oh my God, dude. You brought up, I think you brought it up. It was either Tuesday or last week that do you think he gets traded? And I said, I don't know. That dude's getting traded. That dude will not be an Eagle next year. It is not. He's gone. He's 100% gone.
He is not happy, and he is expressing it. But
I do get it.
His usage has been all over the place, but he's still going out there. He's doing his job. It's not affecting his play, which is good to see.
Yep.
So it would not surprise me if Philadelphia goes out here. Detroit's going to score on them. It wouldn't surprise me if Philadelphia goes out here and just peppers him.
These are the games when A.J. Brown speaks out, the next week he gets hyper-targeted. It's happened almost every single time he's been in Philadelphia. A.J. Brown is in line for a mondo week this week.
I kind of wanted to make him my play of the week, but I didn't know where the line stood with A.J. Brown, if he's like too good to be in that.
No. You could 100% made A.J. Brown. The dude has been wildly inconsistent. He was wide receiver 69 last week. I would like to
change my Trey Tucker to A.J. Brown.
Any receiver on the year that has finished wide receiver 101, wide receiver 98, wide receiver 69. There you go. But that guy is up for starts of the week. That is not a locked in start guy. AJ Brown for sure is a start of the week fit candidate.
Name wise, he is like you see the name AJ Brown, you're putting him in your lineup. But this is the game too. Like Philadelphia, when they have to score, and they're going to have to this week. Detroit can score on anyone, so I think the Eagles' offensive players are obviously in play. Devonta Smith, I think, is in line for a good game. I think this is going to be a big AJ Brown game. I think you could play Goddard.
I don't think there's anyone in this game I'm not playing.
Yeah. This is sort of like
that even falls back on like Montgomery and Jared Goff. I'm playing both of those guys. Even Jameson Williams. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm playing Jameson Williams.
He's been hot. I
would play him over the Giants guys.
Yeah, this is sort of like when Buffalo and Kansas City played. We were just like put pieces in, take a shot on Keon Coleman.
Yep,
you get pieces in this game, and like the over under being 46.5 tells me that like Vegas thinks the defenses are going to kind of shut it down. But, like to me, this should have been the highest over under of the week.
I agree. When I seen this game on paper, I was like, the over under is 52.5. It has to be above 50.
Yep. Yeah. Goff's in play. Gibbs is always in play. Montgomery, I think you could put him in. Jameson Williams worth the shot. Amon-Ra obviously locked in. Sam Laporte has been a top 10 tight end this year. Keep playing him, and then same on Philadelphia. AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, Saquon Barkley, Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, I'm literally playing close to 8-10 guys from this game for sure.
Yeah, high scoring game. Who wins here?
Detroit.
I also am going to pick the Lions here. I also think Detroit wins.
I think it's going to be pretty close. It's in Philly, so that it's not going to be a blowout from Detroit. It's not going to happen. No one goes into Philly and blows out the Eagles. It just doesn't happen. I just think Detroit's going to pull it off, man. Philly's playing a little wonky ball. I do think that they're going to come out and perform better than anyone really thinks they are, especially offensively.
Yeah.
I think I'm taking the over on that. I'm expecting to hit that 52.5 in my head.
Yeah, the Lions last week against Washington was, I think, the best they've looked all year with Dan, and then came out. Dan Campbell was calling the offensive plays, and I think that is going to be a huge push for them forward as they try to make another run at a potential Super Bowl here. So with Dan Campbell taking over play calling, I'm going to lean Detroit. Monday Night Football, Dallas Cowboys travel to Vegas, take on the Raiders. Cowboys are 3.5-point road favorites. Over under set at 50.5. Dak Prescott in. Good. I think he's in line for a nice game. George Pickens, your play of the week at wide receiver. Keep rolling with him, like you said, double digits and full PPR every week. CeeDee Lamb's obviously in your lineup. Jake Ferguson, keep going with him. Javonte Williams, keep going with him. He's playing for a contract here in Dallas next year as well, or elsewhere. And then on the Vegas side, it's really Brock Bowers. I'm not going to lie to you.
I thought you were going to just kind of skip Javonte Williams, man. Like you just went from like Dak to the receivers, and I'm like, this guy's just not going to bring up Javonte. That's disrespectful.
Save Javonte for the end.
Yeah. I like that. Yeah. My boy, Javonte.
Yeah, because I wanted to bring up his contract thing, and I didn't want that to get intertwined in the middle of the wide receivers.
With everything else.
So
I like it.
And then Vegas, J&T, you're obviously playing him. You're obviously playing Brock Bowers. I love Trey Tucker this week against Dallas. I even think you can mess around with Tyler Lockett as a second flex. If you're desperate, is high over under.
It is Dallas's defense. Yeah. I see what you're doing there on paper. It does look spicy. But man, that's rough. That is rough. I am confidently playing J&T, Tucker, and Bowers, though. Don't look at Bowers last week if he had one catch, 30 yards.
Yeah, look at what he's done before that.
Yeah, exactly. He's playing Dallas's defense. It wouldn't shock me if Brock Bowers has 17 for 203. It would not shock the world out of me.
Yep.
Tyler Lockett, though, dude, that's a bold take, bro. But if he has like 5-6 catches, I'm not going to be shocked. Give me a line. Yeah. I'm not playing him over the Giants, guys.
I would play him over Keon Coleman.
Yeah. No. Okay. Yeah. No, yeah. You got me. Yep. Yeah. All right.
And that's a good matchup for Coleman against Tampa Bay, but I would lean on Luck. I think he's a safer play. Yeah. Cool. Picked a good line there. How do you feel about Jake Ferguson? It's been a little touch and go with CeeDee Lamb coming back. Hasn't been the big confident big biscuit that we had early in the year when Lamb was out, but you still comfortably just rolling with Jake Ferguson, not trying to move on?
Yeah, I get it's been bumpy, but we're coming off the heels of the bye week, so the whole team's just a little bit fresher. And the week before that, he played a season-high 90% of snaps, so he was out there a bunch. And that's what you need. Like, obviously, the targets are going to go down, the touchdowns are going to go down because of CeeDee Lamb. But if you're telling me his snap percentages go up, like his season high before last week was 78%, and it jumped to 90% of snaps. That is a huge uptick in like snaps, and you're out there all the time. I don't see a world where you can bench Jake Ferguson. That just doesn't make sense to me.
Agree. The chances are, if Jake Ferguson's your tight end, he is the only tight end on your roster. Yeah. Anyone else? How do you feel about Trey Tucker? I don't.
Oh no! I brought up those are the three guys I confidently play on the right. Trey Tucker's one of those confident starts this week.
Absolutely. And then Javonte, he has proven me wrong week in and week out. He's still a big part of this offense.
Let's go.
I like the matchup here with Vegas. You can run on them. And like I said, he's playing for a contract, either extending with Dallas or for a new team next year. I honestly think Dallas will extend him. I'm kind of Jeremiah loved the Dallas was the hotness in the offseason. Like, that's everyone's favorite mock position. I think they bring back Javonte and either draft a running back later or just roll with Javonte and Blue next year. I don't think they're in the Jeremiah love.
I don't think it's gonna be Blue, but I do believe Javonte comes back on like a 2-3 year deal, pretty cheap, but still a decent amount for Javonte. And then second, third round, kind of like Pittsburgh did with Caleb Johnson, around that kind of ballpark. Second, third round, not a first round pick on a running back when you had Javonte, like, and then just ease a rookie in if Javonte goes down. But if Javonte looks like this again next year, he's just gonna be their back. He's looked great so good, them. Dude.
Yeah, obviously doesn't have the juice he used to have, but he's been an efficient runner all year for them, and he's scoring touchdowns. I think Dallas wins this game. I think they win pretty easily. I think this could be like a 35-24 type game.
I get Dallas's defense is bad, but I don't think this hits the 50 over under. No? I don't think Vegas. Okay. I think Vegas at most scores 20, and I don't think Dallas scores 30. So
I think this is going to be a high scoring game.
I just don't trust Geno. I don't trust Pete Carroll. I don't trust the Raiders fair. In general. Like, in order for this to hit 50, the Cowboys would have to score like 40 points, bro. And I don't think that's going to happen. They could, because the Raiders are bad.
I was going to say, the Raiders hung like 30 on Jacksonville, so Jacksonville's defense is a little bit better than Dallas.
I mean, yeah, most defenses are better than Dallas except Cincinnati.
Yeah, and that was 59. It was 30-29, so I think Vegas 24, Dallas 35 hits that. But yeah, I think the Cowboys win this game. But it would not surprise me if Dallas does blow them out. I don't think there's a world. If Vegas wins, it is a fluky, close game situation. But there's no world where they blow out the Cowboys.
Yeah. No, I agree. I don't think Dallas gets blown out at all.
Yeah. All right, there it is. Week 11. In the books. Throw out in the comments your plays of the week if you disagree with our plays of the week, or if you like ours, shout them out, the ones you like or dislike, or if anybody you'd put in there. And same with like games, if you disagree with our winners or our takes, like if you don't like Nick's Seahawks take, throw it out there, or if you think I'm crazy that I think the Seahawks are one of the two best teams in football, call me out on it. I love that shit. So yeah, throw that out there. Your plays of the week, stuff like that, things you want to see in the future, guys you want us to talk about college-wise, throw them in the comments. We always appreciate that as we try to build the drafted-up community. All right.
Well, we all know Logan's going to completely disagree with my Seahawks take, so shout out Logan.
I'm just pandering to Logan. That's just my goal.
I know you are. I know what's happening here. You know what? I can pander to the people. The Colts are way better than the Seahawks. So
I disagree.
I would take the Colts in a heartbeat over the Seahawks, bro.
Yeah,
not even close in my eyes.
That falls back to our offseason. I don't think the Colts are a top 5 team in football. I don't.
Oh, that is wild. Yeah. I was literally looking through the standings. I would have the Colts at 3. It would be like Kansas City, Detroit, the Colts. I wouldn't have Seattle in my top 5. I literally went through and they're not in my top 5.
I would have 4 NFC teams in my top 5 and then the Kansas City Chiefs.
Fair enough.
Detroit, Seattle, LA, Green Bay, Tampa.
No. Green Bay cannot be. Green Bay is wildly inconsistent.
Tampa.
Green Bay lost to the Browns, bro.
Yes. They also lost to the Cardinals. Tampa.
True.
Tampa Bay. All right, there we go. Draft up. If you haven't already, subscribe. Yeah, it helps the channel grow. Like if you're listening this far, like, why aren't you subscribed? We appreciate that. Go out there, subscribe to our channels, and we will catch you guys on Tuesday. Anything else?
Hell yeah. Nah, dog. I think we're good, dude.
Make those
Send it
playoff
home.
pushes, guys. Get your championships. Adios.
Bye.